What better way for a son and father to bond over than their mutual love for the Dallas Cowboys? Hi, I'm Michael Davis with my dad, Mack. We're a star-studded son and dad duo on the star-studded Cowboys Network, powered by Fans First Sports Network and Boom Broadcasting. And this is Dad and the Boys. I'm not taking my hoodie off for this. Nor am I taking the hood off, because the Cowboys enter their bye week, week 7, after a 47-9 loss to the Detroit Lions. We took 24 extra hours to regroup, but it wasn't enough. It's not going to be enough until we prove that we can win. I don't know how long this episode is going to be, but we are going to cover it. Thanks for joining us on Fans First Sports Network and Boom Broadcasting for Dad and the Boys. I might as well just end the episode there because I don't want to talk about this game.
Well, it boils down to this. I'm not getting into stats or score or anything like that. I watched 60 minutes of an ass whooping. I don't need to rehash it. Point blank, we went against one of the best all-around teams on our schedule after they came off of a bye, and we were really handicapped. You had 4 all-pro players off of a defense. It's hard to stop somebody when that. And not only those players were missing, but you had valuable depth. You had missing player on offense, Pro Bowl caliber player. That's not an excuse. That's just the facts. And I did watch all 60 minutes. Somebody, and I'm not dissing you, son. I know it's hard. I have a fandom. I'm a Duke Blue Devils fan. I'm an App State fan. And I pull for various other teams in college sports and pro baseball, Texas Rangers, and pro basketball, the Dallas Mavericks. But no fandom do I have like the Dallas Cowboys. And, being the senior statesman on Boom Broadcasting, I'm 55 years old. I realize, like I've said on numerous episodes on either Dad and the Boys or Starstruck, that I realize that there are more days in the rearview mirror than they are in the windshield. And the fact was, I wasn't going to walk away from that game. I knew that, because whether it be as bad as it was by the time it hit the fourth quarter and there was no hope, that was my team still there. Bar none, that's my team. I don't have tattoos. When I was in the military, they discouraged tattoos in our MOS or our profession because it became an identifiable mark. But anybody that knows me, has ever met me, and spent any time with me, knows one thing. He's a Dallas Cowboy fan. And when they lay this body down on the operating table, if they open up my heart and open up my chest, they're going to see a tattoo. It's going to be a star. It's going to be a blue star. There is no other team. And I've been around sports enough to know that Detroit had a mission in that game. And they accomplished that mission. Almost. They tried to exorcise the demons from last year when they walked in the AT&T and walked out with a loss. They tried to exercise it you could tell it with the way they put the offensive lineman there on the first play of the game. When they tried to get down in the red zone and tried to score with an offensive lineman on numerous occasions. They were all about exercising demons, and I find no fault in that. Our job as a defense is to stop them. Whether we're handicapped, whether we're next man up or whatever, our job is to stop them. Some days that happens. Some days it doesn't. But I have been a sports fan, and I do know this, that things have a way of reciprocating. Things have a way of cycling back. One day you might be carrying that ass whooping, but the next time you might be giving it. This was a complete team that we faced, and they were coming off their bye, and they were rested. They were fully healthy. Their entire roster, I mean, they were healthy. Even the ones that were questionable were practicing throughout the week. How do we fix it? You know, one, we got to get healthy. And hopefully this bye week will give us that opportunity. Two is Mike McCarthy. Mike Zimmer. You have to do some soul searching. This offense has to, right now, this offense has to go into a game, especially against a caliber team like Detroit, and it has to play a flawless game to be able to compete. Unfortunately, we haven't been playing that flawless game. We have to find ways to manufacture yards, and we have to find ways to take in score. I love Brandon Aubrey. If you watched Starstruck, you already know he's in my top 100. Mr. Consistency. But his leg needs to be more for extra points, not field goals.
I saw a stat this week that Brandon Aubrey has been responsible for about 60 points of the Cowboys offense this year, and the entire Cowboys team has scored around 129.
Well, and there again, a lot of that comes into game planning. I mean, you were up against everybody that I've read over the internet, and I mean, I wish I could just lay down the media and do away with it, but I'm addicted to the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. I want to read about it. I can't get enough of it. That's the reason, I wasn't walking away from that game because I know that I have limited time on this earth to watch a Dallas Cowboys football game, and that is my team. Once that opportunity's gone, there are going to be other opportunities. I'm not going to walk away from a game. I'm not going to, Michael will tell you, I will sit there in my recliner if we're watching it from home and not at a live game. I will sit there and almost urinate on myself before I get up and go to the bathroom.
I won't tell that story of the time you did, but it's okay.
But it's just that I'm not going to miss a minute. That's like my wife. It was a preseason game against the Miami Dolphins, and I shut the TV off because I could not stand it because I had a migraine headache. That's the one time I voluntarily left. She ended up taking me to the hospital, to the ER that night because I could not get relief. Thank you, Toradol, because it was an amazing drug, by the way, if you've never had it.
Okay.
So, I mean,
I will say I did leave top of the fourth quarter.
I don't fault you, son. You're a young man.
Hey, I will say this: I didn't leave the team. The team didn't show up. That's what I was upset about.
Well, you left upset, and I've done that to App State games, and I've done I've done that to Duke Blue Devil games, and where I get so aggravated, I've got to walk away. And I know that you were at that point, and I'm not faulting you. I'm saying I didn't leave it because, simply put, I know that my days on this earth are numbered, and I know that my opportunities to watch the Dallas Cowboys are numbered, and I'm not going to miss a minute. And there's folks out there in this world that are right now calling for the head of Mike McCarthy. Stop it. Don't be stupid. Okay. He's a good coach. One of the best that have ever graced the sidelines for the Dallas Cowboys. And he can turn this around. And, and Mike even said, I haven't watched his press conference. That's one reason we haven't done the press conference thing on Fans First Sports Network. I haven't watched. I've kind of set myself away a little bit to kind of decompress. It's kind of like at the end of the season when the season's over and we're not victorious in the Super Bowl. I need to decompress a little bit before I go back to watching football at all. Mike McCarthy said that one thing is right now they're playing a lot of young players that out of necessity, and he feels that this lesson will pay dividends down the road, and hopefully at the end of this season, it'll pay dividends. I mean, if you think about it, son, I mean, we've all made mistakes in this world. We have all made mistakes. We've all had our worst moments. This was one of Dallas's worst games. I mean,
this was the worst game of Jerry Jones's tenure as owner.
So I mean,
this was the fifth largest loss in franchise history.
but listen to me, okay? I'm not going to bash them. These are grown men, and they play an emotional game, and sometimes it sucks to get that butt kicked. I love you. You're my team, and I know that I've got faith in you that you're going to turn this around. You're going to grow from this experience. A lot of times, it's those experiences that we learn the most from in our lifetime is where everything went wrong. I mean, think about it. In your lifetime, there's been moments where everything went wrong. And a lot of times when we go to discuss it at the moment, in that moment, you're sitting there going, Dad, I don't want to talk about it. You go, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
You need that time. And that's what, thankfully, this bye week approach, because this will give them guys time to be away from that. I mean, I'm sure they've watched the film. I'm sure that they know things that have happened, and they've realized this is some time for some soul searching. This is some time to heal inside so their body can heal on the outside and that they can make a better decision, and to not repeat those mistakes. These are young players,
But I would go ahead and counter that with, I'm not pinning this on Dak, but Dak did not have a good game.
He did not.
But CeeDee Lamb, also a veteran. Where was it? Zach Martin, the vet on this team, had a 0.0 pass block grade, the lowest of his career. He was getting.
I'm done with those grades. I'm done with those grades because you know what? PFF, you couldn't grade your ass if you had it handed to you. I see all these rankings and everything else that they do, but Zach did not have his best game. That is true.
Bad.
But everybody has a bad day. It just culminated into one perfect storm. Period. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and bash the Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot of people out there doing that. Okay. Jerry Jones has said automatically, he's already went on record. He is not firing Mike McCarthy. He's not even considering it. So people might as well forget about it. Just root for the team that you pull for. That's it. That's all you can do. And hope and pray that these young men have learned a lesson, that they use this as a learning tool to go forward in their careers in this season. And I mean, we've all had those. We've all had those where nothing went right. I mean, in life, that happens. In a 3-hour block, 60 minutes of football, 3 hours actual time, they had one of those days. Nothing could go right.
It was a bad day. It was a really bad day.
They couldn't run. They couldn't really throw on with consistency. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the pass. I mean, it was one of those days where nothing worked. You get a great return. Guess what? Field goal. Couldn't move the ball. Dak went back and he was under pressure the entire game. Pass blocking, run blocking, it just wasn't working. Regroup. Now that's what the bye is there for. Address the concerns, regroup. Is there somebody coming, that they're going to trade for? No. This is the team that we've got. Let's see what it does. At the end of the day, They're 3-3. They're one game out of first place in the NFC East.
That is the good thing, is that the division is still winnable. It's not all hellfire and brimstone.
And I mean, and I'm not dissing the 49ers at all. They're a great organization. They have a really good team. We just played the best team on our schedule. And them coming off of a bye. I don't think Philly's better than them. I don't think San Fran is. I don't think that the Ravens are. There's not a more complete team that we played or going to play this year than the Detroit Lions.
Well, that will time will remain to see what the Lions do, what the Cowboys do. This is going to be a shorter episode because I don't want to keep talking about this. I've talked about it on Out of Pocket. I've put blame, I've put accountability where I believe it deserves to be. And we're going to be back, Dad and the boys, Friday afternoon.
Yeah, and you know, and folks are already trying to. I don't know if you saw this on the news or whatever. 105.3 The Fan, Jerry Jones comes on there every Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he basically told me, you know, I'm not going to let you ask these questions. You know, because they wanted to talk to him about everything that he didn't do during off season. That's living in the past, folks. Off season's done. You know, these guys are going to learn, and these guys are going to get better, and they're hopefully going to get healthier. You know, only time will tell. I do believe in this team. I do believe that we've got the players on this team to turn this around and have a great season. You know, is it going to be undefeated? No. We already know that. That is not in the cards. Can they still win the NFC East and make the playoffs? Yes. Only time will tell.
And these next 2 weeks will be very crucial to that. And, you know, playing the 49ers team that has had our number over the last little bit. But we'll talk about that more because we got 4 episodes to have. This was our first one. 3 more until the 49ers Cowboys game after our bye week. But appreciate you guys tuning in with us. We'll put our commercials here at the very end. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And remember, this is our first rodeo, and we'll catch you here next time.